How's everyone doing? I've got Whale here, and this is Steven. We're going to be launching a podcast coming up, so we hope you guys are going to check it out. But we ran across this issue, and we thought it'd be great for the community could learn from this, and hopefully maybe Flare also can learn from what I went through and have gone through on a couple different issues I found. And so what happened was I was minting and redeeming FDOGE. The other day I minted FDOGE. It left my Bifrost wallet, but then never appeared anywhere else. And so then I had to go down into I always say the dirty, nasty Telegram, which is never fun, to talk to people and kind of work through it. And that was actually pretty interesting where I had to have several conversations. I wasn't obviously being very clear when I was communicating with them, but there are certain things that Flare needs from us to be able to better find the problems. And I don't think most of us are very good about following the blockchain, using the flare scan, that kind of stuff to help them follow those problems. I was lucky to have my friend Whale here who helped me out, and like I said, it was a nightmare to figure out. I couldn't have done it without him. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of walk through what I saw, and then Whale's going to kind of share some of the flare scan stuff, and then we're going to go from there. We're right here. Cool. So you can see 126 was the last, and it was a redeem. So it never made it after it left my Bifrost wallet. All right. So what I had to do was first kind of go to the Telegram group for Flare, facets right there, and start a conversation. And then once I had Chazzy Flare, which says right there, will never directly DM you first. So always remember that, guys, safety first. They're not going to call you. They're not going to DM you. They're going to talk to you directly on here, and then they'll ask you to DM them. So keep your safety first. Remember that. Um, Now, and then we got to talking back and forth, and obviously I didn't do a very good job. So I sent some pictures, a little bit of information. We kind of went back and forth. Sent her the pictures of the flare scan, the Doge scan there. And finally, I had to send her a voice memo to kind of explain to her what was going on. And so that finally kind of clicked. So at first they thought it was like an UI glitch. Again, it's very hard for them to figure out what it is unless you can give them all the data. And then it's very hard for us because we don't even know what all the data is. But like I said, they were kind enough. They gave me new Doge and to replace that. So, like I said, it was great working with them. I like the fact that they're willing to help and work through these issues. But I think both they and we can all learn that we don't know enough about the back end here and how to help understand the problems to help them get through some of these hurdles. So that's something that needs to be simplified a little bit in a way that most of us can help improve the system overall. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting part because in a way, if you just say like, "Hey, my dog didn't arrive," I understand that they like where do you start looking at? So there has to be certain kind of feedback that has some kind of technical level. So it's an interesting place because in a way it's like we're trying to help and support the process, but at the same time it's hard to navigate. Like I've been doing this for a little bit and I still struggle. Like it always takes me a minute to find my like which direction I'm going in the flare scan. So I think that the best thing that is just trying to locate the transaction that you are trying to report in the flare scan. Usually you're gonna most likely you're gonna find it under the ERC20 tokens. And then once you find one transaction of what you're trying to do, you can go back in time and trying to find the right time that you want it. Uh, One thing that I would like, for example, on Bifrost, I've been using Rabbit Wallet, and the way that it shows the transactions, for example, if you swap, it gives you both ends. So instead of just seeing the like you can see the transaction in total, not just the token that you're seeing as in Bifrost. So I think that would be a nice improvement to have, that you could have like a transaction history. And I've been learning about this because sometimes I mess up and then I try to go back in time and understand exactly what happened. So I need to figure all of this out to be able to make my numbers and figure out if that was a good move or if it was a bad move. But it would be amazing if you could have just like a transaction area that anybody could just go and see it real quick. Oh, I bought this S flare for this amount of RAP flare. Oh, I bought this amount of flare with this amount of USDC. Simple in one single easy display. I think that would make
Dumb
life
it down. I think what you want them to dumb it down a little bit would be nice.
correct.
Yeah, like you said, like a nice high level, and if you need more information, you can click it, and then it'll take you the numbers and the coding and stuff like that. You could share it then. It would be much easier to digest in some kind of format like that, where the UI gave you that information that you knew what it was. Like, oh, I sent 200 Doge to this wallet. Oh, that makes sense. I knew I did that transaction. The numbers mean absolutely nothing to any of us, like you said, non-live, breathing blockchain type people.
I mean, I get both parts because in a way,
Yep.
I'm sure there's the developers are always getting foolish requests that have nothing to do, and then it comes with something real. Like I get it that they might be fed up of just like answering the same thing that nobody even bothers to read. But I think
I'm guilty of that.
but I think that when you come back to something a little bit more technical, there has to be understanding of both parts because like if they are experts, they cannot expect everybody to be at their level for them to be approachable, and if not, they can sometimes be even be borderline rude. And I think this is not a Flare problem. I guess this is just like that gap of knowledge that it's sometimes hard to understand once you've been doing something for a long time. It's easy to forget that common sense is not that common unless you do that all the time. You know, like I
Uh,
think
Look who's coming on the blockchain now. I mean, Flare's fixing to bring on XRP, Doge. I mean, Doge is. I mean, we're using terms they've never even heard of. I think we've talked about that a little bit. We don't want to get too far into that, but you know, Flare, I feel like is feels like a little bit more of the advanced skill level right now, and compared to what most people use in some of the other stuff. So, I mean, they don't have any of that knowledge.
I agree. Having said that, I also think that being so early on Flare is an opportunity because at least in my experience, it has allowed me to learn all of this. So then when I go to other communities or other blockchains, I am already so much ahead of the majority, and I think that that has been an incredible thing. The downside of that opportunity is that everything's slow and there's some bugs and there's some things like you said, like what happened to that Doge, like for somebody coming new, they don't want to be dealing with that. They just want to put their money, know that it's there. Like they don't want to be talking to the developer and trying to figure out what's a hash can, like what time did you send the transaction. I feel like we are in a way the pioneers, and I feel like that's exactly why this is an opportunity.
100%, 100%. All right, man. Well, I will let you go, and we'll go from there, man.
Thank you. This was super nice. Ask in the comments if you have any questions. It's always it's hard work, but it's also always fun to do some investigation of what happened in the blockchain.
Oh, and don't forget to check out our podcast coming up on next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. We're gonna have DeFi Bull, and yeah, looking forward to see you there.
Yep, yep. We're gonna fumble through. It'll be fun. I look forward to it.
All right, until next time.